Back in the room. Back in the room. Back in the room. Back in the room.
Here we are again.
Back in the room. Here we are again. So this is part 2 of ADHD and modern life. So if you've not listened to part 1, go back
in time.
And go and check out part 1. So let's crack in and say, let's go to the place where the distractions are landmarks and detours are the main roads. Welcome to ADHDville. Welcome to ADHD.
Part 2. Yes, it is.
It's part 2 of a one-part thing. Is the sequel ever as good as the original? Is the sequel ever good as the original? Is the sequel ever
Episode 71. Yes, it is. 71 episodes.
Yeah, so if you've not listened to the previous one, it's episode 70. Is it?
Yes. Or 69. 69
I think it's
or 70, one of those.
Yeah, the previous one is 69. This is episode 70.
Yeah. Okay. But yes, I'm Paul Thompson. Hello.
Hello.
I was diagnosed with the combined ADHD just over a year ago.
And I'm Martin West, and I'm all effed up in the head.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're just two mates who, by coincidence or not, after 39 years of friendship, discovered what they were co-ADHDs. Who'd have known it?
Barely friends, Paul. Barely friends.
Barely. On the precipice, on the cusp.
Mm-hmm.
On the cusp of friendship. Now, it's really important to say that Marty's a bit of a comedian. He didn't really mean that at all. We've been the bestest of friends for almost 40 years. No, he's shaking his head. No, it's really important to say this is an entertainment podcast, if you didn't already realise it, about adult ADHD, and does not substitute for individualized advice from qualified health professionals. So don't take any advice from him.
Or him.
Which is here as a kind of all-inclusive ADHD part bench with room for everyone, including your doppelgangers, your alter egos, your buddy doubles, your chaperones, and your best buddies still here. Remarkable. Congratulations, you've already won a loyalty badge.
Lovely.
Stand still, I'm going to pin it on you somewhere. Then grab your jetpacks, pedalos, space hoppers, or any other transportation methods, and let us take you to ADHDville, an imaginary town that we created in our minds.
In our minds.
Our minds, where we like to explore different parts of the A, the D, the H, and the D again.
And we start off in our new home, the King's Attentive Head pub, in downtown ADHDville, where we sit here, supping a drink and chatting about life.
Yes.
Can
I get you? What can I get you, Martin?
I would like a Parsons speckled backside ale.
Right, pint of.
Yeah. Just give me a nice.
It's a fine one. It's a fine pint. Yeah. I think I'm gonna have a Bloody Mary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna avoid the. Yeah, I'm kind of on a bit of a detox.
I thought. Oh, you mean a Virgin Mary then?
No. Oh yes, Bloody Mary. Yes, of course. Virgin Bloody Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Good point. Well put. Yes.
So
what are we up to today, Martin?
Well, we are carrying on from why people with ADHD struggle in this modern life, in this modern world that we find ourselves in. We just feel like we just don't quite fit in. Isn't that right, Mr. T?
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
So I'm just
especially if you read the Daily Mail or those kind of rags, you feel like, oh God.
Yeah.
But also, maybe I don't even want to fit in, actually, to be honest. But anyway.
So what
Um,
else? So what did we not get to
yes,
last week?
we didn't get to. What do we got? Okay, just let me go to that. Oh, so let's talk about social events. Social events, right?
Okay.
The struggle. Talk about struggle, especially over. It's just past. Well, third week of January actually, but we just passed the festive period. Okay, how do you deal, Martin, with like social events? Give us a
In the
picture.
modern world, how the modern world is structured for social events.
Well, how the neurotypical world is structured for neurotypicals, and how do you deal with it, or don't you deal with it?
Right, because it is obviously all of those things are very, because they want to be a stimulating, fun experience for the
Yeah.
neurotypical people, right? So there's, these things.
Yes.
It's usually like music and lights, and there's a lot going on,
Yeah.
so it feels exciting to them. But
Yeah.
obviously for us, it can be I can't say it,
Yeah.
overstimulating.
Sensory overload.
Right, there's a lot going on,
Yeah.
and we just feel alarmed and anxiety, and we just want to
Yeah.
hide in the bathroom
Yeah.
of said
But
event.
also, but apart from sensory overload, I often find myself, I'm realizing it now. I can look back and I think when we used to go to the disco, go to a nightclub when I was a younger version of me, much younger. And I used to look at them and think, what the fuck are you doing? You know, I used to stand there on the sidelines, like watching my mates getting off with the girls, and all that kind of palaver, and thinking like, well, this world isn't for me. What are you up to? I
What am I
never
doing
really got
here?
it. What am I doing here? Right?
Yeah,
You
there's
you already got.
there's
You
the
already like talk about neurotypical world. You get to talk about the bouncers or you don't decide whether you even get into the neurotypical, nightclub.
hmm
Oh, you're not on the list. Oh, you've got white trainers. Oh,
yeah,
you know, and it's like,
rules,
oh,
and you're
for
like, I don't want to play by your
yeah,
s- your sneaker rules.
yeah.
I
And
mean,
then you go in there and you're like dancing away, like, oh God, and they're playing like I don't know some kind of medley that you don't really want to dance to, you know, but you feel like you should.
right, because places like that are exhausting because
Yeah,
there's the only place that you can get away from it is in the
mm,
toilets, is in the bathrooms, and they
right.
are not places that you really want to be.
Or
You
get
know what I mean?
hammered with cocaine and booze.
Right. So you end up drinking more, um, just to kind of like cope with
Or just to
all of
numb
that.
yourself.
It would be nice if actually these places actually did have sort of like quiet areas, so you could just kind of
Oh,
go like,
yes.
"Oh, just
Can you
give me
imagine if there
10
was an
minutes.
A8? Well, yeah. Well, you
Just
know
give me
how you
10
got
minutes just to collect
some of like
myself."
the bigger clubs. Like I used to go to a club in Brixton. It was under the church in the centre of Brixton, under the
Hmm.
church, and the nightclub was called Mass, and it was
Oh yeah,
freaking enormous. It was huge. I think we went there once,
we've been there, both
and
you and me.
been there,
Yes.
and you'd have different rooms with different vibes. So if there was
Hmm.
like a ADHD vibe, that'd be
Right.
cool.
Yeah. I mean,
Or,
the other part of social events is the other one is the one that is the complete opposite, where you're kind of in a room full of people
mm,
that you don't know, or you might know some of them,
uh-huh.
and there's no, and you're just basically standing around talking,
Right,
making small
right.
talk with people.
Yes. So what
Those
if this in
kinds
this
of
special room you had to show your ADHD diagnosis. You had bouncers. You had ADHD bouncers.
all right,
That'd be
ADHD
pretty
bouncers that
cool. I'd
actually
love that.
worked for you. Like, do you have
Yes.
ADHD? No, well, go to the back of the line.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, I
But
mean that.
what are you like in those situations? Are you the same as me?
I
Just want
mean,
to like get out as soon as
these
possible.
these days, I'm not. I don't really want to be at these sorts of things. I mean, I certainly won't bother going to a club or
Right.
anything
When was
that
the
is
last time you
like
went
that.
to a club?
Jesus, a long time ago. A long time ago.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, when I was in the UK, I think
Oh
20
wow.
years.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's just not. I have no interest in clubs. I
Right.
mean, I will go and see a band, and I
Right.
will stand there and watch a
Mm.
band. But that's
There
you know,
were
but
some really cool clubs though in the 1990s in London. Like in Notting Hill, there's a club called the Subterranea, and it was a really well, given the name of it, you pretty much get it, but really
yeah,
underground kind of thing. I would just go there and dance my tits off, and no alcohol because I was used to drive there by myself. Didn't know anyone. There you go, Mister ADHD dancer in a underground club. I'd go there, dance my tits off, drive home. No drugs, no alcohol, nothing. Just the pure pleasure of dancing.
the pleasure of the
Pleasure of dance,
salsa.
and once in a while dance with Sinead O'Connor in the very
What
same club. I danced
you
with
don't
Sinead O'Connor.
with Sinead O'Connor, or
Yes,
in the same area as? I mean, how
same
far away
area.
were you
Well, we
in
we kind of
feet,
like we kind of like
meters?
we kind of nodded with our eyes to each other. Hello, you're
All right,
dancing,
she
and
went.
she
Ah,
nodded towards me. Oh, you're
that's
quite a good dancer.
that's
You're a good dancer. She looked at me with like,
all right.
we had
Yeah,
a
nod
conversation with
and a
our
wink.
eyes. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Right. There was a whole relationship
dancing.
just went on with
Yeah,
it, like a there was sort of game respects game, right? There was
yeah,
like, yeah, all right,
yeah.
that's kind of
But you
fun.
know how after the year, as years passed, they exaggerate the story. We basically
Absolutely.
were in a relationship for 5 years and had
Right.
2 children.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Like all right. So you were dancing there. She clocks you. You clock her.
yeah,
There's a little bit of that, and
yeah.
then in your head you're like you're now married and picking out curtains.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. But
Hmm.
joking apart,
You could have saved
we
her, Paul. You could have saved her.
could have
I'm
said,
just
"Well,
saying.
she was so cool.
She might still be
Just
around if you'd made your
yeah,
move.
what an amazing person she was.
Yep.
Amazing. Anyway, but there's an example of a club that had a really, really, really cool vibe. It wasn't about going, to get off your tits on drugs. It wasn't about going and having like competitive like dance thing going on that you had at other clubs. Like if you went to
Hmm.
around that time, just around the corner, you go to the Fridge in Brixton, and it was like basically fights breaking out, but in a form of dance. Basically, it was quite
Lovely.
aggressive dancing, trying to
Yep.
impress each other.
I
It was
was
just a
talking
really
to
cool place.
I was talking to someone in Infomaniac, I can't remember her name, unfortunately.
Right.
Infomaniac something, about how about the 90s and about clubbing in
Mm,
that time and how like crazy it was. We're all there
yeah.
like dancing our little firm buttocks off.
Buttocks.
Um,
Yes.
and she was like, "How did we survive? How did we
Yes.
survive all of that?" And I
Mm,
said, "I have no
didn't.
idea, but I would." And I said, "I am an atheist, but I would wear a T-shirt that said I survived the 90s, therefore
Mm,
God."
yes.
It felt like it was
Yes.
like a, you
Yeah.
know,
Badge of
that
honor.
was
As you go
that
to
was
there,
the
but there
there
aren't
was
clubs like there were in the 90s.
there was some sort of a divine intervention that
Yeah.
meant that I actually lived through all of that craziness.
Yeah. Turnmills in Farringdon. God, that was good. The worst,
Um,
but the worst bouncers ever. They're always off their minds on drugs. The bouncers and really
mhm.
paranoid. God,
All
they were,
right.
but it was so good. The resident DJ was Paul Oakenfield, so you just put up with all the crap that the bouncers used to give you, just to get
Right.
in. It was just worth it. It's like, okay, let's just do what they tell you to do, you know.
Yeah. I remember I saw
And you got
Paul
in,
Oakenfield
yeah, God.
in
And but once you've
Miami.
had, it's like driving, it's like flying first class, you know. Afterwards, driving economy is really difficult. Driving um, flying economy is really difficult once you've flown first class. So in the 90s, we were really spoiled with really cool, amazing clubs that I don't think you can find anymore. Or I haven't, yeah, I haven't been to a good club for 20 years, probably, maybe more.
Right. Yeah. There isn't really that culture as it
No,
was back
no,
then.
yeah. And then in London, you used to be able to go. You went from maybe Subterranea or after Mass, and there'd be special clubs that would be on from about 6 until 10 o'clock in the morning with a different
Mm-hmm.
vibe. And you go
Yep.
there
Yep.
and
Yep.
like hang out there. God, that was
I
that was
know. It was always a thing. Like when you left the club,
yeah,
and then as you were going home, you would meet the people going to work, going the other
yes,
way.
yeah,
It's like, ooh, all right.
yes, yeah.
Ugh.
So
Oh
anyway,
God.
but going back. So how are you with social environments? You know, not necessarily, you know, clubbing and all that kind of stuff. Do you like, are you kind of person now, especially after your diagnosis, where you make excuses, or you maybe don't even feel like you have to make the excuse and you leave, or what do you do?
Oh, I mean, what kind of event is it? I guess.
Well, I don't know. Well, first one that comes to my mind over Christmas, you know, I had like this massive, like lunch gathering with lots of family and stuff.
Oh, right.
And in my case, after about an hour and a half max, I started like thinking, I need to get out of here.
You've just reached your peak.
Yeah,
That's it. I
yeah,
need to leave now. No,
yeah.
I actually do quite a good job of regulating myself in that I will find a quieter corner
Okay.
or a quieter end of the table, and then I'm just concentrate on talking to like one or two people, and
Uh huh.
I just close the whole world down into like just a little small bubble
All right. Right.
around me, and I just kind of concentrate
Okay.
on that. I just try and
Mm,
block out the rest of it.
okay. But that's
So I'm
probably where the difference with in Italy, you can't do that
hmm
because the conversations are so loud.
right.
They're
I
very
mean,
loud in Italy.
yeah, yeah,
So you can't shut it out. I'm quite good at shutting out, but in those, you know, kind of situations, it's almost impossible.
yeah. Because like in the UK, those conversations, especially in England, will be a lot quieter. They'll be like, "Yeah,
Yes.
did you see in the Telegraph? Uh,
Yes.
Sinead O'Connor has a new man in her life. I think his name's
Yes.
Thompson or something.
Yes. Or do you have two children, don't you know?
And nice curtains."
Very nice curtains. Oh,
So I
we'd have
mean,
such good curtains.
and I mean, in the states, they are more rowdy, um,
Uh
but
huh.
again, it's fairly. I mean, it isn't too bad, you know. Like it's just not. It's yeah.
Yeah.
I,
Right.
I find I can do
Yeah.
it, but yes, going into the bathroom is always like a nice
Okay.
es, escape. Or like if you sort of slipped out of the whole venue. Have you done that where you just like just kind of
Yeah.
slip out the side door, you just like
Yeah.
hang
Mm,
outside for a bit?
right.
um
But is that what you do? Do you generally one of the first people to leave a dinner party or something? Or
no,
no? Okay.
no, I can basically, I mean, like how sometimes if you're having a really good time and actually you're talking to people and it's quite, and you're into it,
Mm.
then it's fine. It's only when you,
Okay.
you
But so
feel
how
start
do you
to
deal with
feel
small
uncomfortable.
talk? How do you do with small talk?
I try. Okay, so generally, if you just restrict yourself to asking questions, that's all you have to do. So we're like,
Right.
"Hello, Martin. How you doing? I'm good. How are you? Oh yeah, I'm fine." And I say, "Well, what are you up to? What have you been doing? Oh, I've been doing this. Oh, that's interesting. You know." And you just keep asking questions about whatever it is
Oh, really?
that they're talking about. So you don't talk about you. You just talk about
Right.
them and their stuff.
Oh,
And
God.
they walk away going, I had a great conversation with that person over there, because
Okay. No, I
people
can't do that.
like nothing more than to talk about themselves and what they like.
Right. But that seems
See,
like that's like fighting fire with fire. Just like throw petrol on the fire. Like
I mean,
you have to like
if
potentially stand there for half an hour with your warm glass of Chardonnay.
right, so if the question therefore is, how do I get out of a conversation
Yeah.
that I'm involved in?
Are you
That's
are you potentially sometimes quite rude? Like quite ADHD is autistic people are like known for being like, oh, what did I say? You know, Martin just like cut off, just ran off into the
just
distance.
right off. I, I, if I mean, I'll kind of like get to a point where I just kind of go, "Oh, I'll catch you later," and then I'll just turn and go off somewhere and go off. I'll just turn and
Oh,
go
okay.
somewhere else. I'll go,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, well, catch you later," because I'm also thinking the other person is probably feeling like they're trapped in this conversation
Mm,
as well. So I'm doing them a favor
right.
by exiting stage left.
Right. Okay.
So
So you haven't
yeah,
got
just
any like bizarre strategies like, oh, I'm sorry, I have terrible incontinence. I need to go and.
no. I find that
Right.
the the less you say, the better. It's just as like,
Hmm.
all right, yeah, I'm just gonna
I'm
go.
not
Oh, I've
really.
just
I'm
seen Paul.
really awkward. I'm much more awkward. I'm really bad at it. In my mind's eye, I'm really bad at it, and it's really evident that I'm bad at it to other people. You know,
Right,
I'm not good at finding an out.
and out.
Not good at it at all.
That's where if you have a partner, they're quite good to kind of like help get you out.
Yes. Good
They'll come
point.
along, or you'll just say,
Yeah.
"Oh, I think I think my girlfriend wants me." Whatever. You just
Yeah.
you
Well,
just go,
going back to the Christmas stuff, we did because luckily my girlfriend, she's the same as me, and we had already decided that we would tell people that uh, we had to go and visit, which is actually true. That we actually, but we'd planned it. We made a plan so we could leave early
mm-hmm,
without upsetting people. You know, so we
right.
had a pre-existing plan
Yeah, or so
of,
right.
of
So
exit.
the sign is that you go caw caw, and then when you hear that,
Yes,
that's the signal to start backing
exactly,
out. Beep
exactly,
beep 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 beep, out of the
exactly,
room.
exactly. Yeah. So what else have we got? Moving on. Moving on. So let's talk about what have you got, Martin?
Um, well, I would say that the modern world, like how it's set up, is that it really wants you to know everything all of the time.
Yeah.
So you'll have like notifications will pop up on your screen. It'll
Ooh.
buzz. Um,
Oh yes.
uh, like any information that the world, like everything seems to want to get your attention, right?
Hmm.
All the time, everything, and all of that is just so much. It's just so, it just causes so much anxiety. Like I have to go through my phone and just be careful about which ones I allow to to notify me if
Yes.
something happens.
Yeah.
And even then, it's like how much of that, what
Yeah.
level
Yeah.
of notification, because it's just
Hmm.
there's just a lot of
Yeah.
flashes and beeps
Yes.
and
Have you seen that
noises.
episode of Black Mirror? Which is very
No,
cool. No, there's there's the guy that plays the vicar in the Northern Irish actor, really cool actor. Anyway, he plays
Father
this
Ted.
part. No, um, Fleabag, the
Okay.
vicar, the sexy vicar in
Oh
Fleabag.
yeah, yeah.
He
Good
plays
show.
this guy who loses his wife in a car accident because she lost control of her car because she was checking a message that came up, a notification that came up from Facebook, and
Right.
she picked up her phone, lost control of the car, and died. So see he it wasn't Facebook, but it was basically saying it was Facebook. So then he decided that his mission in life was um to kill Mark Zuckerberg,
Oh right. Okay.
or in this case, it was like equivalent of Mark Zuckerberg. And
Right.
he kidnapped him, and and you know. But yeah, I'm the same. Um, I'm the
Yeah.
same on another level with publicity. I becoming less and less tolerant of publicity. You know, if you like Spotify, listening to a podcast like ours, for example,
Mm-hmm.
and you get interrupted more and more and more on Instagram and YouTube and more and more publicity. YouTube is not too bad actually, but on Meta, so Facebook and more, just so much invasion. So I'm looking into. Do you remember the other day I sent you a message about buying a turntable? Whether you're
Yes.
into that,
I wondered why
because I
you
wanted,
were sending me a message.
yeah, middle of the night.
Yeah. It was like,
I
go on.
Yeah, I'm looking into getting a turntable and just like listening to vinyl more. I just want less. I want to filter how much these companies get access into my private life. It's just becoming so invasive now.
Oh, you mean like so? Like you have to pay money to Spotify or whatever, so you don't get all the
Yeah,
adverts. So you're having to like
yeah,
fight through all that
yeah, yeah,
noise
yeah,
just to kind of
yeah. But
play
also, if you're
something that
just
you want.
scrolling, if you're just scrolling through Instagram, well, now they've got a new system, haven't they, on Instagram? You can pay for ad-free Instagram. It's about
No,
seven
yeah.
euros a month.
Oh yeah. No, I've since the whole Mark Zuckerberg thing, Instagram is dead to me.
Yeah,
Um,
I
as
don't
well as
post on there more. There's a there's a poor discussion to be had. I think talk about struggles with the modern world. I've stopped posting on Instagram and Facebook. Don't post there anymore. I just
yeah.
I need to filter. I need to filter how much the traditional news feeds that I get. I don't want to
There
see
is
it.
right. There is a
It's too
lot
much.
certainly now. Certainly has been building up over the last 8 years, like of the
Right.
amount of politics that
Yeah.
enters my life. So it used to be that you would only hear from your prime minister or your,
Yeah.
or your president or whatever once in a while. They would pop up on the news once in a while because something
Mm.
happened, right? But now
Yeah.
it's like every day, all the time, constant, like a
Right.
trying to drink from the fire hose. It's just ridiculous.
Right.
The
Yeah.
the amount of of the the kind of like horrified shock, what is going on thing that sends of someone being outraged, right? And then they spread
Yeah.
the outrage, and then you feel
Yeah.
outraged, and
Right.
it's constant, and it's
Right.
exhausting.
And then you get overwhelmed. So in bringing it back to that ADHD conversation, you know that. talking about sensory overload. I mean, holy moly,
Right.
it's too much. I've started to feel overwhelmed. I was feeling kind of like level of depression, and I swear to God, in the 3 or 4 months that I've been doing it, not months, 3 or 4 weeks that I've been filtering the stuff that I decide that I allow access into my life.
Hmm.
Since I've started doing it, I feel better. I really do.
Yeah. No. I definitely filter a lot. So all the big important stuff still finds me,
Yeah,
but all of
yeah,
that but the constant outrage,
yeah.
I've kind of dialed that right the way down, because it actually doesn't do any good. It's
Hmm.
it's it's
Yeah.
if you're neurodivergent, as you said, it just increases your anxiety, just
Hmm.
leads to like
Yeah.
dip dip depression, um,
Hmm.
um
Yeah.
mental
So,
burnout.
so I'm going. I don't know. I don't. We're not paid on the podcast to publicize Blue Sky, but on Blue Sky, which is fast becoming the best alternative to the big guys in social media. They've got soon coming out another app there'll be a competition for Instagram. It's be called Flashes. um, no publicity. What's great about it is that you can filter the kind of feed that you want coming into your phone. So if you want to if you want to block out Trump, like I do, you can actually say, "I don't want anything linked to Trump coming into
Hmm.
my feed
Right.
or other stuff," and you can mute certain news feeds so that not mute as in you don't hear it, it's mute as in you don't see it.
Right.
So it doesn't. It's not actually blocking. It's just muting. You don't want to see it, and it
Right.
really works.
Yeah.
It really
I
works
mean,
for me.
it doesn't mean that I'm not aware, or that I
Yeah,
don't do my bit when it comes to sort of voting
yeah,
or
totally.
whatever. It's
Hmm.
it's just I it's just, as I said, if I paid attention to it all,
Hmm.
I'd just be a wreck, and
No, you can't.
it's
You
just
just can't.
not
It's
good for
too
my mental
much.
health. There is a lot
Yeah,
of
I'm the
people
same. There are
online.
some issues that I will feel personally like I should be informed about. Certain issues, but a lot of stuff. There's nothing I can do about it.
No,
Uh, Actually, I think it's almost like they want you to be overwhelmed, but that's another story.
no, no, that's part of the plan. If you're outraged
Yeah,
by this and that, I mean, and you're talking about this and that, means that they can do something else, something
yeah,
far worse over here, because you're all talking about this other thing over here, like some,
yeah.
talking about
Muddy
Greenland,
the
or the
waters.
Gulf of whatever.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, over here, there's laws being passed, and there's this, that, and the other. That's
exactly.
actually more important.
Yeah, muddying the waters.
Muddy waters,
Yeah, but in
'60s.
the meantime, there's lobbyists. Kind of like stopping. The fossil fuel
Right.
issue. Et
Yeah.
cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I'm gone. Yeah. Is this something that's more up in energy? I feel like that's kind of taken us down into like
Yeah.
a like a
um,
the world's
well, this
crap.
is a bit of discussion. It's like, the theme is, just remind ourselves of the theme. Theme is, ADHD struggling in a contemporary neurotypical world.
Yeah.
Um, um, ooh,
Ooh. Looking
oh,
at the list.
I'm looking at the list. It's pretty, it's pretty much all negative. Mine is anyway. Well, okay. There is some good stuff happening out there. There are some companies, really clever companies, that are starting to recognize that actually having ADHD employees is a good thing. They're actually actively seeking them out, places
Hmm.
like Microsoft and Google actively seeking out peeps from the autistic community, um, which is really, really cool. I think it's really cool.
Hmm.
FBI also, FBI is actively looking out for autistics because
Right.
they want
You know what?
people that can like
Did
think
uh,
left
did
field.
did I ever tell you that I came home from work one day and there was a card from the CIA that had
No,
been put,
right,
like under my door,
right,
and it had a call me number on it,
right.
and I was like,
Yes.
"What the hell does the CIA want from me?"
Oh, okay.
And I found it, and actually, all they were doing was just, well, what's it? All they were doing? They were just doing a background check on someone in my apartment
Really?
building, but it scared the bejeebs out of me.
Blimey. Okay. Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But that I mean that's not the example of Google and those are companies that are at they're kind of clever chappies in many different ways. They're really smart. For the most part, I mean, I don't know about you, but in Italy, it's so behind. I mean, me being an ADHD autistic teacher in an Italian state school is a minefield, a total
Right.
minefield.
Right. You're you're a sort of unicorn, sort of a
Oh God, an unwanted unicorn, I think. Generally, it's just like going into a wasp nest.
right.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And even like I'm trying to work alongside a neurotypical teacher as well, teaching the class. And sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't, and it's really hard. It's really really
Mm-hmm.
hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not sure I want to do it anymore. I'm probably going to give it up in state schools anyway. I've got a
Right.
contract until the end of June. It's just too much for me.
And then you're going to set up your own class, your own little teaching gigs.
I'm yes. I want to become an ADHD coach. And I want to go in that direction. Yep.
All right. Oh,
Yeah.
there we
That's the
go.
plan. Yeah.
That's the plan, Stan.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
So how about you? What do you how what's your just where does your do you have like since your diagnosis you kind of have your struggles with in kind of neurotypical work environments?
Well, I mean, outside of all the ones that we've just gone through,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Right. I think that the real issue is, one, if you're not aware that you have ADHD. In fact, I don't know why I'm saying this, but because everyone who listens to this is aware, but
Mhm.
but but you can remember just the sheer exhaustion of trying to fit in
Yeah.
to the rest of the world, and how it works, and how exhausting and tiring
Yeah.
that is, and how you end up making the most ridiculous, stupid decisions, and you like just burn
Mhm.
yourself out left, right, and center.
Yeah.
Um, and then
But I
it's a
guess
whole
luckily work in a sector that's like quite well set up for us because it's full of neurodiverse people
right.
in the
So
marketing and
luckily enough, I kind of found, as you're saying, I found myself working in like the creative field in advertising, and it's set up in such a kind of a very particular way. So ad agencies
yeah,
have two halves. There's the creative half, where all the the art
yeah,
directors and creative directors and and designers, all the neurodivergent people, basically sit in that
yes,
creative section.
yeah,
Then you have the account section, and they're
yeah,
interesting because they bridge the gap between neurotypical, typical clients and the creative
Yeah.
department. So they sit as the kind of translators and
Yeah.
organizers
Mm-hmm.
of us crazy
Yeah.
ADHD creative people. So they kind of try and get us to kind of do stuff while
Yeah.
also translating what the client wants
Yes.
into our speak. So you have
Right.
these three. So ad agencies have these two halves.
It
So
has to
they're
be
very set up.
translated, right?
Yeah. So they are very set up for ADHD people who are working in a neurotypical
Mm-hmm.
world because they have an accounts department that basically does
Yeah.
the translation part,
Yeah.
kind of like just as the bridge
Mediation.
in between us and them.
Yeah.
So it's
But
kind of quite
have you never had someone? I had someone once that worked in accounts, and she was just she was a frustrated creative person in reality.
yeah,
It didn't work out for whatever reason. She ended up being
yeah,
an account in
yeah.
accounts, and it was a nightmare, a total nightmare.
All right. No, I've had successful people who have made that jump from creative to accounts.
Right.
But so but yeah, I mean, but there's a lot of jobs out there that are not like that. They are literally you're working, cheek by jowl, if you wish, with neurotypical people and their systems. Um,
Yes, I
and
mean, I mean, that's probably the better discussion to have. You know, all those people that vast majority of ADHD or autistic people or both working in jobs that are not just don't help them at all.
no,
You know, very mechanical, or maybe it does help them if they're working in very mechanical environments. You know, they're working in an Amazon warehouse or something.
one of my favorite jobs I've ever had in my entire life was I worked at a supermarket, and
Uh
I
huh.
worked on the cash register. The
Right.
checkout, the
Tiltard.
till. I was a
Yeah.
till tart, and it was like it was just I could just sit there, and then items came down the conveyor belt like a can of beans and a
Right.
loaf of bread and a packet of
Right.
biscuits, and I would
Right.
I would just beep it. Well, actually, in those days, there you you actually had to type it into the keyboard. So it was
Of course.
59p,
Yes. Right.
59, hit enter.
Right.
And then it got a bit scary when the cash part came around. You had to kind of like get the cash,
Oh.
count the cash, make sure
Oh
that the
God.
change was right, and then count it back. But apart from that little scary bit, and
Right.
it was a very mechanical job, right? Most of my time, I was just in my head thinking, I was
Mm,
just daydreaming off with the fairies, while
right.
my hands were just picking up cans of beans and tapping in numbers.
Right.
Um, and I
So
really
that was
liked
okay
that
for you, but then how did you exercise the ADHD part of Martin if you were doing something all kind of automated job? How are you
because,
exercising the creative part of Martin?
well, because that Martin, because that wasn't that was just part of my day, right? Um,
Right.
so so
But
I would
you were in a band maybe at that time, so you had
no,
that
I was
outlet.
maybe just starting, but yeah. So like I would I would always draw at
Right.
home, so
Uh huh.
there was always
There you
creative
go.
stuff going on somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just I really liked that kind of a job that was just quite was just quite sort of rigid. I kind of quite liked that.
Okay.
It was comforting.
Right. Because I've just signed a contract. I've got a new job. I'm going to be teaching conversation English online.
Oh, okay.
Right. Which I'm thinking, oh, is that going to be good for me? I think it could be. If I think of it in terms of what you were just saying, I want to frame it like, okay, it's going to be a bit mechanical for me. It might not be perfect for me, but it will give me, I can organize my day as I want to. I decide when I'm free to have conversation online and teach conversation English online, and I'm freed up to follow my creative projects, my personal stuff. So it's cool, you know.
Yeah. Not everything has to
That's how.
be all creative and all fun
No,
all the time.
and actually, it will give me some structure, which I do need.
Right. Yeah. And actually, I think just doing this podcast week in, week out
Oh, yes.
is going to be like, it should feel like it's very familiar, except talking to me, you'll be talking to Luigi. You want to know the English?
Yes, that's exactly how it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's exactly
Is
how it
it true
happens.
what they say about George
Yes,
Best, the footballer?
right. But in this case, I'll be teaching 3 people at the same time online. I'm a bit scared about that.
Oh God, that's it. Surely the more people, the easier it is.
Really?
Has to be.
Maybe.
Surely.
Once the
I mean,
dynamic starts, yeah, and they
I
start,
mean,
yeah,
you stand out in front of a group of students, right? I don't know how many people are
yeah,
in your classes, right?
up to 30.
Up to 30 people, right? It's
Yeah.
easier talking to 30 people than it is just
Yes.
one,
Yes.
because you have to focus way more on like on that one-on-one
Yeah.
interaction, surely. Or am I
Yeah.
wrong?
Well,
Am
also
I
because they're
wrong?
adults. You know, I had a bit of a nightmare this week with my first year students, um, because they're just like really disruptive and just I don't know. You could go into a class sometimes and they're just for no apparent reason they're just all over the place. That's a nightmare. But in this case, it's 3 adults. They're they have an hour break. Um, Usually, splits their day between morning and afternoon, and I'll be teaching them conversation English. So they're disciplined. They want to be there. They want to
Mm-hmm.
learn. It's going to be a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I think that
Yeah.
sounds.
Yeah.
I think there's. Yeah, it feels like it's just gonna be a lot easier. To be
Yeah.
honest.
But I'd be interested in our listeners' feedback. If they're doing mechanical jobs, but actually frees them up, or if it'd be really good to have feedback on that side of it.
Right.
Okay,
All right.
alrighty.
Um, I think. All right. Well, honestly, I kind of feel like I don't have any.
Yeah,
I don't have any. So I don't think there's any point in going to the.
because we
Go
covered
on.
it. If you want to hear more, you haven't heard it yet. You go back to the first part of this podcast, and there's plenty in there as well. Yeah, I think we pretty much
All
covered
right.
a lot.
Cool beans. Cool beans. All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to outro this. I think.
Okay, let's
Uh,
outro it because you
let's.
got to slot in the quiz on this part. Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Yeah. Oh, I just cut the music. So, oh God, yeah, I forgot about the quiz. That's
Yeah,
that's
there's
that's
a
going to take
quiz.
us over again. Okay. Anyway, Anyway, good lord. All right.
Yes.
Up now comes the quiz. Cope.
Oh, God.
You're gonna have to
Yeah.
cope.
You can handle it. You're
You can handle
ADHDers,
it. I know you can handle it. I know you can.
Yeah. More passion,
Yeah.
more energy, more
Look at
passion.
you. Yeah. Yeah. We can do it.
Yeah.
Stick with us. We
Stick
can do
with
this.
it.
Okay. All right. Let's get in the tractor, and we're going to go to
Yes.
location X, which is the
Right.
mystery location.
Yes.
And
that has no music or.
it does. It has its own theme and
Oh,
music,
okay.
for sure.
Great.
And then we'll kind of get into the quiz. So let's jump into the tractor.
Yes.
I'm going to kind of like I'm going to sit at the back, and Andy, you can
All right.
drive
Yeah, oh, okay.
and
All right.
and
Well, I
move
mean,
that
wherever
kind
we're
of bucket
sitting,
up and down. What?
Oh, okay. It's really bad for your hemorrhoids. But anyway,
Yeah.
we didn't buy it for comfort. We bought it because it was, practical.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
I don't think we borrowed. I think we stole it. Oh, the old diesel. Love that. Oh, it's nothing better than an old diesel.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a quiz. I've organised a quiz for you, Martin.
Awesome. I'm going to get a pen so I can write down the possible answers.
Yes. And it's based on the it's based on the madness that is the neuro beige rulebook.
Okay.
Okay, it's on theme, mate. It's on theme.
I like how we've themed it. It normally tends to be like left field, but
like we're organised or something. Right. So the theme is weird laws and regulations, Martin.
Oh,
and they're
nice.
real ones.
I like a nice weird law.
Right.
Stroke regulation.
As per usual, it's a multiple choice. I'll give you 5 possible potential answers. Okay.
5.
And I think I've
Too
got
many.
5 questions. Okay. First question.
Okay.
Right? Radio stations in which country must play music from their own nation? 1.
France.
Canada. 2. France.
Got to be
3.
France.
Haiti.
Okay.
4. Russia. 5. Australia. Canada, France, Haiti, Russia, Australia.
So, is this can only play music from that country?
No, they have to. I think there's a certain percentage of their output must be from their own nation.
Obviously, I feel like Russia would be the kind of like the biggest one on that list for that. I would suspect that it wouldn't want.
They are very big.
They wouldn't want outside influence and that sexy rock and roll music. No, we do not want it to the sexy rocky and roll. We do not want the Elvis of the Presley.
The best French accent I've ever heard.
I know, right? Nailed it, mate. Nailed it. Ooh la la. I know that France, for example, has laws about its language.
Yeah.
It really wants to protect its culture. It is a very culture protective society. Like it's so, but I would have to say Russia, being such an internal country, has to like I feel like
it's Canada.
Oh, come on!
It's Canada. Yeah.
Come on.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So Bryan Adams, come on down. That kind of stuff.
All right.
Although, you could have a.
Are we saying that Russia doesn't?
Nice. Doesn't. I think France does.
I think France does.
I think France has a minimum as well.
So and I'm sure that Russia's minimum must be higher than Canada. Surely.
Yeah. I think maybe only Canada has an actual law.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Moving on.
Moving on. It's illegal to wear high heels in one of the following famous places.
Okay.
Okay. The Acropolis in Greece.
Okay.
The White House in Washington.
No.
The Louvre in France.
No.
The Houses of Parliament in Old Blighty.
No.
Or, fifth option, Martin West's house in America.
Jesus Christ. My house.
Your house, Martin.
I would say there's no way that an American going to the White House would be asked to take off high heel shoes. That's just like that's insane.
That's insane, isn't it?
Louvre, you've got all those tourists. What are you going to say? No, you can't wear your high heels in here. Nope, that's insane. The Houses of Parliament, again, I just feel like, mind you, they do have old crazy rules, so that's a possibility. But I think the Acropolis makes sense because if I remember my physics, pressure.
He's bringing out the physics card. Martin is playing the physics card.
Right. It's force plus or times area equals pressure or something like that. Where if you've got a small amount of area, like a high heel shoe, that's a lot of force going down. You got that lovely ancient stonework. And I kind of feel like they don't want to be peppered with loads of little high with shoes. Tell me I'm right, Mr. Thompson.
You're right.
I'm what?
You're right.
I'm right. Okay. There we go.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Well done. Excellent.
Number 2, right?
Impressed.
Number 3.
Officially read. Number 3. It's illegal to run out of gas, or if you're in England, petrol, fuel, in either the German Autobahn,
right,
the French Autoroute, the Belgian Snelweg, Danish Motorweg, or the Finnish Motorrate, all basically motorways in Germany, France, Belgium, Denmark, or Finland, illegal to run out of gas.
All right, I'm going to say Germany because the German Autobahn, as we famously know, you can go at any speed, right? There's no speed limit.
Yes.
So that makes it imperative that you can't you can't die at the side of the road through lack of gas. That feels like they're connected.
You're right. You're right.
Yes.
And I'm going to find out soon because I'm taking my son is moving to Germany.
Oh my God! Really?
In 3 weeks' time.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
Wow.
Last time I was in Germany on the Autobahns was in 1990, Martin. We were working together at that time.
Yeah.
I went on a photo shoot with our colleague,
I remember
Brian.
that. Yes.
And we're driving along the Autobahns. Literally, the Berlin Wall had literally come down 2 months before. I was on a photo shoot in Magdeburg and Leipzig, photographing roofs and things. Had a well of a time. We're driving along, and there was these exit signs for this town called Ausfahrt. And we kept going past them and past them, past. Like 3 hours passed, there's the exit signs for Ausfahrt. And I said to Brian, that's a big town. She said, what are you talking about? She said, there's exit signs for this town or city called Ausfahrt. It must be huge, and I've never heard of it. I've heard of Hamburg, I've heard of Berlin, I've heard of Ausfahrt. She said, no, you idiot. Ausfahrt means exit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That
Ausfahrt.
was
Only the Germans, we think the Germans are clever. Only the Germans have a sign saying exit from the motorway.
Mm-hmm. But that was over 30 years ago, Paul. I just want to tell you.
Thanks. Yeah.
That was half a lifetime ago.
Yes. A long time ago. Anywho, doing well, mate. 2 out of 3. It's good.
I know. I'm winning.
Last, another one. The third
4.
question. Number 4. It's illegal to wear a suit of armour in
Yes.
Houses of Parliament.
Okay.
Walmart. Tesco's.
Right.
Tesco's.
Yeah.
The Louvre. Or anywhere in Norway.
Anywhere in Norway.
In Norway.
I feel like if
illegal to wear a suit of armour.
That's such a crazy. Unless you're thinking of a modern suit of armour, like because obviously in some states you can carry guns around, so you can literally go into Walmart with a
with a hoodie,
with a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Feels like maybe there's body armor. Maybe is this like a? Is it? Can I ask? Is this old-fashioned suits of armor, or is this like a modern suit of armor?
Old-fashioned.
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 Okay, well, in that case, it's going to have to
A very
be
good, poignant question.
okay. Well, I'm going to go with the Houses of Parliament then, because it has to be somewhere
You're
old
right.
that would have to have that sort of crazy rule.
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4. I've. You're right.
Impressive.
I can literally lose this next one and still come out on top.
Okay, you've still got 2 though.
Okay.
Okay, there's two categories left. It's illegal to hike without clothes in one of these countries. Illegal to hike without
Naked.
clothes.
You mean nude?
Yeah.
You mean go out
Naked. In the
and
buff.
stroll about
In
with
the
all your
buff.
bits dangling, and the insects can like literally just have a go at any part of you they want.
Exactly.
Mhm.
We're feasting, right?
Yeah.
Illegal to be hike without clothes in Switzerland, the United States, Vietnam, New Zealand, or Bonnie, Scotland.
Well,
Scotland.
I mean, Scotland. I would think it would just be unadvisable to do it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Just...
Someone once said that the English don't look good in short trousers. They just look like someone stole their trousers.
Right. It can't be the USA, because that would have to be a federal law, and there's no way that would be a federal law. I would then. I mean, Switzerland does have some crazy little rules. They are very strict about certain things, and I can imagine there's some Alps going on. There's some Alps. Yes. You want to do the Sound of Music, but do the but the naked version. Yeah. I can see Switzerland being weirdly
contraire.
Yeah, not happy about naked people doing the Sound of Music.
Funny bunch, the Swiss. Which I'm driving through Switzerland to get to Germany, funny enough.
Oh, nice.
And you have to pay €45 to drive through Switzerland.
Yeah. No, because they basically, Switzerland don't want you in Switzerland.
No, they don't. No, especially Italians.
I'm sure. And you're going, I'm not Italian, I'm English.
Exactly. So illegal to hike without clothes in Switzerland, United States, Vietnam.
I'm saying Switzerland.
New Zealand. You're correct.
Yeah, fucking,
4
I'm
out
nailing
of 5.
it.
You're nailing it. I'm impressed. Okay, last one.
I thought you said that there were 5. Yeah, go on.
It's illegal to ride a cow while drunk in
okay.
Scotland,
right?
Norway, United States, Argentina, or Martin's Garden.
My garden. Argentina was that one?
Yeah.
Argentina. All right. Well, it wouldn't be it couldn't be a federal law, so it can't be the USA. Definitely not my garden. You can come around with your cow and ride around if you want, Paul. Can if you want to come over here and you want to do that, I will find a cow for you. Noted.
And drunk. Illegal to ride a cow while drunk.
I think Scotland, that just feels like a good night out, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's just like how you get home from the pub.
Right. It's the first thing you do before you call the taxi. You call a cow. Right.
Exactly. Mate, have you got a cow I can just ride home on? Aye.
Yeah. Do you want it with or without the horns?
No, I want something to grab hold of, you know.
We lad it.
All right, I'm going to go Argentina, because they've got a big beef industry. There's a big steak industry. There's a lot of cows in Argentina.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
They're very horny.
I've heard. And
Scotland.
Oh, come on.
Illegal to ride a cow while drunk in Scotland.
Blimey.
See, that's what we're here for, this podcast. Keep you informed about important stuff.
You learn stuff.
Learn stuff.
Well, thanks everyone for sticking with us for 1 hour 25 minutes. You are a trooper. I salute you.
Yes, thanks for your sticking power.
And I appreciate that. So if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Hang on to us, because this world is unpredictable. As you know, with the whole TikTok.
Don't look us up on TikTok, though. Is it down or is it up?
Oh, no, down, TikTok is back. So it's banned in the USA. Right. But our account is, but I'm allowed back on it. We are both allowed back on it for the next 90 days or so.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
There's an extension. So
a reprieve.
Right. So really, anyway, all right. I need to scroll down.
So you can find us on your TikToks and it's your outro, isn't it?
I'm gonna hit the outro button, which means that then I start to say ADHDville is delivered fresh every Tuesday to all purveyors of fine podcasts. Please subscribe to the pod and rate us most magnificent, and feel free to correspond with us at will in the comments. But wait, there's more. If you wish to see our beautiful, beautiful faces, then you can sally forth to YouTube's, and we're also on TikTok for now. And you can pick up a quill and email us at ADHDville@gmail.com. But in the meantime, be fucking kind to yourself.
And I beseech you, fellow ADHDers, know thyself, sons of the hounds, come hither and get the flesh.
Beef. That would be cow flesh, but don't ride the cow.
While drunk in Scotland.
Yeah.
Could get arrested.
Absolutely. Wise advice, Mr. Thompson.
There, says the mayor. That's that